The U.S. auto market, valued at a staggering $1 trillion, is showing some major signs of distress that could potentially lead to an enormous wave of defaults in the upcoming months. The alarm bells are ringing loud and clear, with auto loan delinquencies reaching an all-time high and negative equity rapidly infecting the industry like a virus. It's a ticking time bomb that could turn the car market on its head and spell disaster for the entire U.S. economy, leaving millions of middle-class Americans with nothing but crushed hopes and empty wallets. Don't wait to take action. In this video, we'll uncover how to safeguard your financial future from the impending catastrophe that's looming ahead. According to the U.S. Federal Reserve's latest data, serious delinquencies, meaning payments that are 90 days or more behind schedule, have surged to levels not seen since the devastating financial crisis of 2008 and 2009. The most alarming news is for those under 30, as they have experienced a more substantial surge in delinquencies in the past 2 quarters than any other period in the last 2 decades. On top of that, the auto loan sector shows concerning signs of a negative equity surge in the first quarter of 2023, which occurs when the amount owed on a vehicle is greater than the vehicle's worth. Edmunds data indicates that the average negative equity in auto trade-ins had a year-over-year rise of 29% in Q4 of 2022, and negative equity has continued to rise in the first half of 2023, reaching its highest level in over 15 years. These trends have triggered concerns in the automotive and finance industries and could create a ripple effect throughout the entire U.S. economy. But how did we get here? A perfect storm of factors has gathered at one time, creating a nightmarish situation for the automotive finance industry that is leaving the whole market feeling uneasy. The pandemic brought with it a wave of supply chain disruptions, such as severe chip shortages that caused a huge impact on new vehicle availability, leading to soaring prices and a shortage in the automotive industry. In fact, the cost of new cars reached an all-time high in 2021 and 2022, with sales of cars costing over $80,000 and $100,000, increasing by 44% and 34.8% respectively in the first quarter of 2022 compared to the previous year. This forced many Americans to turn to the used car market for more affordable options, but this only caused used car prices to soar as well. According to Cox Auto, between February 2020 and February 2022, used car prices increased 30%, moving from a little above $21,000 to $29,500. But car buyers were hit with a double whammy. Not only they had to contend with soaring prices, but they also faced a dramatic increase in annual percentage rates. The Fed's last year attempt to combat inflation led to the fastest rate increase in 2 decades and the highest since 2007. And as a result, lenders raised their auto loan rates by almost 25%, from 8.22% in 2021 to 10.26% in 2022, according to the Experience State of Automotive Finance report for Q4. Overall, these events have left many Americans in a difficult position. During the pandemic, they found themselves with vehicles that had gained positive equity. However, as car prices plummeted towards the end of 2022 and auto loan rates skyrocketed, countless Americans were left with negative equity and were compelled to pay a larger sum of money in financial expenses. In certain situations, borrowers may have been able to manage the challenges brought on by the increased interest rates on their auto loans by making larger payments towards principal. However, due to a rise in inflation of approximately 6.5% in 2022, borrowers had to spend more money on basic necessities such as utilities, food, and other living expenses. As a result, many people were unable to offset the decrease in their car's value by making extra payments on their auto loans. Banks have been warning for months about a potential wave of missed loan payments, but fate has caught up with Americans. Recent reports suggest that many citizens are struggling to repay their car loans. A report from Cox Automotive shows that auto loan delinquency rates have reached their highest levels in over 15 years. In March 2023, the percentage of auto loans that were severely delinquent was 1.75%, the highest rate since 2006, and subprime borrowers, those with lower credit scores, have been hit particularly hard by this trend. During past years, subprime borrowers were targeted by predatory lenders due to the low auto loan rates available at the time, but this has resulted in a rise in defaults on subprime auto loans. For instance, 7.3% of such loans were severely delinquent in the first months of 2023, a 7% increase over the previous year, and the highest rate since at least 2006. Defaults are also on the rise, with the auto loan default rate reaching 2.72% in January, a 6.2% increase from December, and a 33.5% increase from the prior year. The current state of subprime loans in the auto finance sectors and the negative equity surge during past months is causing a lot of concern among economists and consumers alike. As we move beyond the first quarter of 2023, the trend of negative equity in the auto market is not showing any signs of slowing down. With Americans adding more miles to their cars day by day and supply chain issues getting behind, the car prices are likely to continue declining. Even experts are predicting an additional 4% fall on car prices this year alone. To make things worse, the Federal Reserve has announced plans to keep increasing rates this year, which is likely to cause a rise in consumer auto loan rates. Unfortunately, this means that the situation for borrowers may become even more challenging before there is any relief in sight, potentially resulting in millions of middle-class Americans losing their vehicles to predatory lenders. With the U.S. auto market showing signs of distress and a potential default wave on the horizon, it's crucial for borrowers to take proactive steps to safeguard their financial future. So stay tuned until the end of this video to discover great strategies that could have a significant impact on overcoming the auto loan crisis. A first effective approach to combat negative equity is to make extra payments on auto loans whenever possible. By doing so, borrowers can reduce the balance and get to a point where they owe less than the car's current value. Just sending an extra $25 or $50 to lenders can add up quickly and help borrowers pay off their loan faster. For instance, by just making an extra $50 payment every 2 weeks, borrowers could save more than $1,100 in interest charges and shave about a year off the loan term based on a 5-year $20,000 auto loan with an 8% interest rate. Now, for borrowers who are financially stretched and can't manage to make those extra payments, the debt avalanche method could be a great solution. This method, also known as debt stacking, involves making minimum payments on other debts and using the extra money to tackle the debt with the highest interest rate or with more financial risk, such as auto loans. By tackling car loans first, borrowers could lower their overall interest charges and pay off debt faster, reducing the risk of default and repossession. Further, refinancing auto loans can compound the effectiveness of the strategies mentioned earlier in reducing negative equity and avoiding default. Despite the increase in vehicle interest rates in the past year, refinancing remains a viable option for some borrowers if their vehicle meets the lender's criteria. By refinancing, borrowers can decrease their interest rate and/or shorten the loan term, which can simplify the process of paying off the balance. While negative equity may persist, a lower interest rate can make it easier to make extra payments and manage the loan effectively. In any case, it is important to keep in mind the goal of paying off the loan quickly. Opting for a 72-month loan term may not be ideal since it stretches the repayment period to 6 years. Instead, borrowers should seek a shorter term. However, in the event that a long-term loan is the only viable option, borrowers should aim to make extra payments towards the principal amount every month to pay off the loan faster by applying the strategies mentioned earlier in this video. Lastly, trading in a car for a more affordable model is an alternative for borrowers who owe more than their car's value. However, this approach must be done with careful consideration. Some car dealers may promise that borrowers won't be responsible for the remaining balance on their old car loans, but it is possible that dealers will add the negative equity from the old loan to the new car loan, causing borrowers to still pay the remaining balance. Therefore, this option should only be considered after managing the vehicle with positive equity. The U.S. auto market is facing daunting challenges that could lead to a catastrophic wave of defaults, leaving millions of hardworking middle-class Americans without their vehicles. The future of the industry looks bleak, so it is crucial to act now and take proactive steps to mitigate the impact of these challenges and avoid the potential catastrophe of losing our vehicles.